My question is a little strange, but if Islam were true, would you become a Muslim?
Sure, if it was true. Do you think it's true?
I do not think it's true, but my question off of that is, I honestly have thought about it for a while, and even if Islam was true, I would probably not become a Muslim.
Well, the question is, what kind of Islam? Because there are different kinds of Islam, and I just happen to have an expert with me. Right here. Come on up here for a minute. This is Ridvan Adyemir, ladies and gentlemen. You know there are Sufi Muslims. They're pretty docile. Right? But go ahead, continue with your question if Ridvan has something.
You were doing quite well. I don't have to.
Okay, no, but I want you here anyway.
Okay.
You're my security blanket.
Yeah, no, Apostate Prohphet's awesome. But the main, do you think there's a problem with me saying no to that question is the main question?
Well, here's the problem. What people always ask me, if Islam is true, would you become a Muslim? In reality, given what I know about Islam, it doesn't comport with reality, so I don't think it could be true, okay? But if there's a strain of Islam that were true, that there is a God, his name is Allah, and he wants devotion, I could understand that. But there are things about Islam that I think are just demonstrably false.
And I agree.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I would say, I myself, if I was asked the question, I would also say, I'm an ex-Muslim. I left Islam. I grew up with it. Was an atheist for 10 years, then became a Christian quite recently. But if I was asked today if Islam was true, would you become a Muslim? I would say yes, definitely. But I know that it's false. I know that it's nonsense. I know that it's more than nonsense. I know that it's a bunch of nonsense that needs to be taken seriously, but especially for Christians to know, a very good opportunity actually is, so Islam as a religion claims to be the fulfillment of the biblical religion, of what the God of the Bible supposedly revealed. The Quran claims to be the completion of the message of that very same God. The Quran comes along, makes the claim that it is the same God, but while affirming the truth and the preservation and the authority of the Bible, of the Torah and the Gospels, goes on to completely refute it. And Frank Turek just here explained to us very, very well why Christianity is true and why the evidence for Jesus and his resurrection, his divinity, hold up very, very well. Muslims often go around claiming that they respect Jesus and they also believe in him. Muslims actually, while affirming that the early Christians were correct in their beliefs, also believe, because that's what the Quran says, that Jesus was never killed and therefore was never resurrected, which is a complete insult to Christianity and to Jesus himself. I think that's something that should be known, and the truth can be found with Christianity, as Frank demonstrated here.